Okay, hello everyone. This is the short recording that I mentioned I'll be doing to talk about some of the emerging technologies that I want to bring to your attention. Hopefully, that will help you or will give you some insight to help you in properly planning for your future career. My talk is actually for all of you because I believe whether you're computer science, computer engineering, electrical engineering, software engineering, and even IT, all of you really have a good opportunity to build a very good and successful career if you, one, if you build good scientific foundation during your time at college. Your key goal really should be seeking the knowledge and not the grade. Um, Believe me, if you work toward seeking the knowledge, this is your key goal, then most likely you will also get the grade. Or I don't see a problem actually for you getting the grade. However, if your goal is really the latter, just looking for the grade, probably will be successful in this. But the thing I'm sure about is that it will be very hard for you to really build a solid foundation or scientific foundation that you need to build an actual real career. The second point is to understand the future and the available opportunities. I know many times you get overwhelmed in all the details, courses, material, topics that you're covering, projects, homeworks, and so on. But it's important really that from time to time that you look at the big picture, where you're going, why you're studying whatever classes you're taking, what classes you plan on taking if you have the options for electives, for example, what's happening in the marketplace, what are the market shift, and all of that. This is very important that you stay up to date of what is happening to help you proper, properly plan for your future career. Then finally, of course, you need to plan. So that includes making smart selection of elective courses. Again, go to the point one that I mentioned above. You should not be selecting the classes based on how easy or hard they are. There is no such thing like easy or hard. So just look for the elective courses that will help you in the plan or in planning for a certain career in a certain domain that you want to be focused on or you want to start building your career in. The other part you need, or the other point, you need to engage in some extracurricular activities, whether these are projects, attending conferences, um, following key like scientific blogs, joining some of the clubs that offer competitions in that will help you advance your knowledge and expertise and your hands-on expertise in some of these segments. All of this is going to help you a lot. The third one is to focus on one area of interest. So kind of try to make an early selection of what you think you want to build or start your career in, but keep your options open because it might match. Finally, you might end up working in that same area you're looking for, but you might not. So you might end up working in something else, whether by choice or by availability. So anyway, so you pick one area of interest but you keep your options open. Okay, so what's coming? What are there? Emerging technologies. What are we talking about? So in addition to the traditional ones, the key normal ones that out there in the marketplace, I want to focus on 8. They're classified as emerging technologies, given the advancement and the big opportunities they offer. So the first one is the artificial intelligence. I'm sure all of you heard about it. AI, it's everywhere. It's the buzzword, whether in the industry world, in the academic world, in the scientific world, everybody's talking about AI. Now, just to understand the potential, it's estimated that it's going to add or contribute $15.7 trillion to the economy, global economy by 2030. So in almost 8 years, the contribution is estimated to be $15.7 trillion. This is, you can think of it as the outcome of China and India combined. So, and usually when we are talking about that area, AI, it serves into two key big buckets, kind of. One is the labor productivity improvement, and the other one in the product enhancements and other areas, whether sub areas, some smaller areas, or adjacent to them. But anyway, usually AI serves in kind of these two big areas. What is helping it more, or what is helping it making really a hot topic and very and high demand, there's a high demand for it, is the advancement in the amount of data available, the exponential growth of the data, given all the Internet of Things or the mobile technologies, all the connected devices. All of this is really making AI very hot topic, with tons of opportunities for work in there. The second area is the blockchain. So for blockchain, again, I'm not just maybe the first thing comes in mind is the cryptocurrency. That's not the only thing. This is just one of the applications. But blockchain itself as a domain, it's very hot topic, booming and actually penetrating or going into so many other areas. And they estimate that it has a potential of $1.76 trillion, again, by 2030 for the global economy. It goes into, like, the reason why it's appealing, it's going into areas such as payments, it's going into supply chain tracking, the digital identity, and other emerging technologies. And the key thing, the name of the game for it in there would be two things: the speed of transactions and the cost reduction. And of course, beside, of course, the security, or the how secure the application or that platform is. So a lot of opportunities there as well. The third one is the Internet of Things. Internet of Things, it's expected actually to grow really, really fast in the next almost 3 years. So they're expecting by 2025, in about like 3 years or so, to grow up to $11.1 trillion. And the reason why, because now it's going into the big scale, into a metroplex kind of level of things, rather than just homes and small gadgets and devices. Now it's going at the infrastructure level. So, and smart cities, for example, smart mobilities, and so on. So this is really booming. So given the demand and the different sectors Internet of Things is now going into, then that means automatically there is a lot of opportunities for work in there. And you, with your knowledge and expertise and the scientific foundation that you're building, become the pioneer for in any of these actually emerging technologies, to help advance it, to help kind of model it properly for the different market sectors, and so on. Next one is the robotics. And again, it's not new, I understand, but it's not that, like, it's been there for quite some time. But the new thing is, and usually it's been there for two things: for manufacturing and for supply chain. But the new thing is, and they estimate that it's contributing $155 billion in the next 3 years worth of revenue. Now, but the new thing is, robotics now is kind of merged with other smart technologies, other smart of these kind of new technologies, like Internet of Things and AI. So it's making robotics cheaper to build. It's making it flexible, autonomous, self-learning. So this is now appealing for other industries and other market sectors to adopt robotics in their process, to be as part of their core processes, to kind of enhance efficiencies, to reduce the cost, increase the revenues, and so on. So it's getting, and it spans from agriculture all the way to financial services. So it's now going everywhere, and a lot of opportunities you have there in that segment. The next one is the distributed cloud. And by distributed cloud, I'm talking about the smart data center. So centers, everything is centralized, but for distributed cloud, that means you localize the data storage. And in order to achieve two things: one, reduce or save the bandwidth, and the second is to improve the response time. With all the booming in these applications and the amount of data needed at real time, whether it's artificial intelligence, whether it's Internet of Things, blockchain, and others, and so on, the traditional way of having data stored in a centralized data center is not going to help much these applications or these other domains to grow. So distributed cloud comes really handy, and there is a lot of work for you in here in order to enhance the efficiencies, how to ensure security, for example. All the theories of distributed distributed computing come in play in order to keep this distributed cloud domain advancing and providing the necessary speed and availability for the demand from other sectors. The next one is augmented and virtual reality, of course. So this is not just gaming. Now it's going very strong and very fast into other segments, into other sectors, given the potential that it can provide. So they estimate that by 2030, this is gonna be worth $1.5 trillion in there. And we're talking about to customer experience, for example. It goes into healthcare, into the defense and military, and so many other areas. Virtual reality and augmented reality, actually, augmented reality is even more, because augmented, they estimate it's 40% actually of the entire thing, just augmented reality. So it's very hot topic, still emerging, but emerging very fast, and needs a lot of computer science, computer engineering, software engineering, electrical engineering. There are a lot of opportunities and jobs available in that domain. The next one is 5G. So 5G, with everything that we talked about, even just augmented and virtual reality, artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, again, the name of the game would be speed and data availability. So the mobile networks for 4G and LTE, this is now too slow given the amount of data and the speed needed for all these applications. So 5G is coming at the right time to meet these needs, and a lot of work in 5G is available in 5G for you in there, starting from the very top, the applications that are compatible with 5G, with the governance of 5G, the security aspects of 5G, the entire network stack, and at each layer and each area, you have a lot of work. It's still really coming and growing. So you have a lot of opportunities in that domain as well, if you're interested in working in some network related and mobile related field. The last one I want to discuss is the 3D printing. The 3D printing, which started or known for just prototyping, now it's going into the actual production. And if you just search about recent articles and see the advancement in 3D printing, actually in something like healthcare, you will be amazed on the opportunities it can do for different sectors, and something as sensitive as healthcare. So it's very powerful, again, growing very fast, with a lot of challenges as well. So it needs a lot of good people with good foundation and good scientific foundation in order to fill the gaps in there and help that domain or that emerging technology sector to stay alive. What is strategic even about that 3D printing is that the work in there is classified, or usually the labor in there, whoever is applying these technologies, is classified as highly skilled manufacturing jobs, or it's classified as highly skilled. So why this is, especially this one, is strategic, because it will help, that could help reverse the cycle in bringing back jobs onshore. So verse toward kind of the cheap kind of labor, or lower cost labor. So it's going to help bring it back, because it needs, as we mentioned, the highly skilled workers to work in that domain. So these are the eight emerging technologies. There are more, of course, but these are the key 8 technologies that I wanted to share with you, and they are in the near future. We're talking about something from now to 2025, 2030. Everybody's talking about with kind of that amount of money. When you see the amount of money, then you will know the appetite for the market, for the government, for the corporate, for the business, and to invest and use, not just invest into and also use. When you see like $15.7 trillion, that's a lot of money. So it tells you the amount of kind of interest that the globally into that domain, which translates into jobs, which translates into careers that you can build in there. Okay, another view, the last view that I want, oh no, still. Okay, so I want to show you this view to kind of show you for these 8 technologies at the government, corporate, and financial institutions, the use for them. So I'm not going to read it all. You will have the slides and you can review it, but I'm going to randomly pick for robotics, for example. In the government, there is a big interest right now for research in defense and military. For the artificial intelligence at the finance and the corporate, for example, interested in recommendation engines that can make decisions and can make predictions, good predictions, and so on, and personalization and targeted customers and so on. For example, augmented reality and the virtual reality. You have in financial, the branch banking to be all virtual, or in the government sector for the education facilities, all the virtual reality schools, and so on. And 3D printing, you find applications for the defense as well, for weapons, or even in the health sectors and so on. So I'm not showing you this to tell you that you will be working as a user for these technologies in these, that still can be a possibility. But what I'm saying is, when you see all these opportunities, whether at government, corporate, or financial, across all these emerging technologies, it tells you or gives you the confidence that these really, or there's a real demand and a real need that will continue to grow for one or for all these emerging technologies, that to encourage you, if you're interested, to kind of pick one or more and try to pursue a career by first building some foundation, some prerequisite foundation in order to be successful in these domains. The last view I want to show you related to this is also how to understand them from two angles. One is the impact, the amount of time these technologies take in order to make an impact after they are adopted by a government or by a corporate, financial institute, and others. And the other one, the classification of them, whether they are considered incremental, like enhancements, kind of ongoing enhancements, or they are considered as transformational, like a complete makeover. So let's first start about talk about the impact. In the impact, we have kind of some of them that you see an immediate impact, very quick impact within a year, 0 to 1 year. AI comes in at top of it. Also, something like blockchain and distributed cloud. So that kind of give you a quick return on investment. And then we have some mid-range kind of impact, including for robotics, Internet of Things, a little bit maybe in 3D printing. And then there are things that definitely you're not going to see the impact right away for the corporate and the government, whichever institution is adopting these technologies. It's considered kind of the long range. It takes some time, something like the augmented reality, or if 5G adoption, and so on. And from the vertical side, the difference between incremental versus transformational. Incremental means you have some technology and you're kind of making it better. So that's why something like distributed cloud is not considered transformational, because a lot of companies now became like well known that no longer store their data on premise or have their own data centers. Right now, everything is in the cloud, whether it's Amazon or Azure or others, but Google. So you have all these different ones. But not only that, so going into distributed cloud is kind of an incremental, so kind of an enhancement to what they're doing, versus something like blockchain. Blockchain is considered transformational. It's a whole makeover, because it's not just the technology. You need to keep this in mind. it's not just the technology that is changing. The technology is changing along with all the processes, all the governance model, even the task force, the employees with different skill sets, not just the IT, even the users, not just in the technology, but also the users of the. Now, again, why am I showing you this? So you can, if you're interested in working in any of these areas, or you're interested in any of these areas, you understand also the potential and the impact of them. Is it like a fast impact? It's a short, like slow impact, but it's taking some time and a while. It's considered transformational, so not many is gonna adopt these technologies fast because there's always the resistance to change, versus others that, yeah, everybody's kind of okay to go into it, such as the distributed computing or distributed cloud and so on. So this just to give you another perspective of how these emerging technologies are positioned in the market, or their impact for the institutions that adopt them. So I'm hoping with this kind of short talk, with these points that I shared with you, that would give you some insight about these emerging technologies, whether they are of interest to you or not. But I'm still hoping that you kind of think or start thinking a little bit different in your career, to plan for your career. So yes, you need to continue to work on your studies, do well in exams, in classes, seek knowledge, but at the same time plan ahead and look where what technology sector you would like to. Okay, good luck to all of you, and thank you.